Hello again, everybody. We are live from Pebble Beach off the 18th green. Stillwater Cove is behind them. And right next to me is the Joe Starkey. Joe, great to see you again, sir.
Oh, it's great to see you and to be here. I mean, this is certainly one of the great spots of the world for sporting events and just to hang out. So to be at Pebble Beach at the 18th hole, you're kidding me?
And
Fantastic.
how many years did I mentioned before you were going to come on with us, and you got the Bing Crosby National Pro-Am from around the mid 80s, right? Somewhere.
Well, actually, the first time I came out here was late 70s,
Wow.
and then just as a fan.
Right.
And then when it became, after Bing died, Phil Harris took over the role, and as the big, as sort of the Bing guy, you know.
Yes.
But what happened was, it was interesting, is that KGO, I was sports director at KGO in the late 70s.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
Yeah, and KGO at that time was probably the number one radio station in America. We were always number one in the local market. And so they were doing things that most local stations didn't do. I mean, for example, I was a local sports guy, and I was going to the British Open, I was going to Sarajevo,
Nice.
all those kind of things. So a week at Pebble Beach made a lot of sense for us in those days. And so I had the opportunity to come down here and do that starting in 1979, and did it for pretty close to almost 40 years.
So you covered golf. Did you ever call golf?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
'cause that's a whole different
Oh
thing,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my golf game is such I'd rather not talk about
You don't even want to call it while you're playing.
it. You got it. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people know you forever and for eternity for the famous band is on the field golf, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back to that. I'm sure you've talked about it 1,000 times. Tell us a story that maybe you haven't told. Is there even anything left of that you haven't told about that?
Well,
specific-
yeah. That's probably, I think maybe my favorite is that Joe Morgan used to hold a golf tournament in the East Bay,
Okay.
the Bay Area.
Former
Yeah.
Oakland A and
Yeah,
Cincinnati
you know,
Red.
and a native of the area.
Yeah, right.
So well known, and Bill Russell would play, and the
Sure.
huge names would come to this golf tournament. And so I got to be involved in that for a lot of years. And so one year, as a so-called celebrity, not at their level, but they put me as a celeb, I played with four guys from Los Angeles
Okay.
in the early 80s, and I should say the late 80s.
Okay.
And as we got through the round, 4 or 5 rounds, just getting through the 4 or 5 holes or something,
Right.
one of the guys says to me as we're waiting to tee off, he says, you know, Joe, he says, I don't mean to say this in a negative way. He said, you know, we're all from LA, and honest, this is a celebrity golf tournament, you're a celebrity. I have no idea who you are.
Okay.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
but they will in a second,
Yeah.
right?
And so here we are. It's at least 10 years after the '82 play. I don't remember the exact year, but
Right.
anyhow, he says. I said, "Really, you don't know?" I said, "I'll give you 6 or 7 words of off that. Bam is on the field." Oh,
You're that
everybody-
guy, right?
Yeah, everybody. knows
Oh, that
Bam
is
on
great.
the field.
That is so great.
So you hear it almost anywhere. You pull that line out, it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, what do you remember about the play itself when you're trying to follow it? You're probably just thinking, let's just get this thing over with. Who cares, right? It's gonna be it's the end of the game, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, this thing is real, and they haven't blown the whistle yet, right?
Well, the key that I felt was the most important thing that maybe I'm proudest of,
Yeah.
is as wild as the call was, I made it a point of never interrupting it.
Okay.
And I don't mean to denigrate the guys who were doing it on TV or
Right, sure.
Stanford radio,
Yeah.
but my rule has always been finish the call, apologize if necessary. All right?
Okay.
Don't interrupt. And the television broadcast and the Stanford broadcast, both those crews decided that it wasn't going to count while it was still going,
Oh,
because the
okay.
flags were coming out, right?
Right.
So they were dismissing it and didn't finish the drama of the call,
Ooh.
and almost made fun of it. But my theory is, they said, let's take it through, and I'll be happy to say
Then whatever
afterwards.
happens, right?
That's right. That's right. So that was the key, that it became the one call that you hear over and over and over again
Right.
for so many years. And even to today, it's amazing how often it shows up. I
Now,
can't get over it.
when did you realize that it actually counted? How long? I mean, even if they make the signal, you're thinking, well, wait a minute. Maybe they obviously there was a different world then you didn't have instant replay and all that stuff to change any calls. But did you know it immediately?
Well, I was ad libbing because
Right.
they were having a meeting on the field. All
Right,
the officials.
exactly.
And so the question is are they going to dismiss it? Is it going to count? We did talk about the fact there were penalty flags, and so when they decided that it counted, that's when I think I screamed something like, "Oh my God, the most amazing, incredible,"
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And that they've edited that tighter, right? So it
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
right after it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it was. I did excuse me for my voice. I did all these things, but and so later in the evening, we were scheduled to go to a kind of a post big game party,
Right.
and we went to our neighbor's home, and I was a wreck because I thought, oh my God, did I mess that up? This is a huge deal, and so I cannot be wrong about this. So I was terrified that maybe I'd done it wrong. But after I heard it and listened to it, and I said, although I felt that maybe I was a little over the top, I knew that I'd gotten the basics right.
Well, it's hard not to be over the top under the
Well,
circumstances.
that's right.
And the rivalry and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so going back all these years, do people still is that the first thing they say to you that maybe you don't know? It's like, oh, you're the guy.
Yeah, I get that surprisingly often because it shows up so much almost every year.
Now that it's on YouTube and everything too, right?
Yeah, it keeps showing up. You can find it anywhere.
Right.
And in fact, strangely enough, at the Super Bowl about 3 years ago, I got a call from an ad agency with Bayer Aspirin, of all people. And they said, we're going to run an ad on the Super Bowl that involves why you would need Bayer Aspirin.
Because you gave them headaches? Or
yeah. And so they used about maybe 10 seconds of the call, that's all.
Really?
As part of an overall commercial that ran on the Super Bowl, for God's sake.
Okay.
So it's through the years, it's been used for advertising, for various stories, various movies have run it. And so it's just kind of fun to be proud of that and be involved in it. But as I said at the time, I thought I blew it because I knew I was a crazy man as I was instructed.
I hope they paid you nicely even on the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl stunned me how much money they gave.
Really?
Because it's network television.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was totally out of the blue too?
I wasn't looking for it, didn't expect
Wow.
it. And boom,
Those are the best ones.
You bet.
Okay, so tell everybody about your NFL experience because it's pretty extensive.
Well, when I got into football, I only played 1 year of football. I was a junior college football player in Thornton Junior College in Harvey, Illinois.
Okay.
The most famous person to come out of that is probably Lou Boudreau.
Okay, I remember Lou.
Right.
I met him once. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, but I also grew up in a town. I was a Chicago native, but then we moved to the suburb of Dalton, Illinois.
Okay.
And here's one out of left field that everybody's surprised now is the fact that I was an altar boy at the same church as the new pope.
Really?
How about that one?
That is great.
That's it.
Do you know him?
Never knew. My mother knew his mother.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I never got the physical contact, but I might need his help someday.
Yeah, you never know. Exactly. Well, look, send him a note and say, yeah, I'm the band on the field guy.
That's right.
Can you do something for me?
You got it.
Chicago boy.
Yeah.
But what about your NFL experience? What are the highlights of that?
Well, it was first of all a thrill to get into the NFL.
Sure.
The 1 year I had with the Vikings. I enjoyed that enormously. They were a very successful team at that point. 1 year I was with them. We got all the way to the NFC Championship game and ended up losing to the hated Dallas Cowboys,
Yes.
who are the enemy of every team.
Exactly. I think they're the enemy of every team in the league, actually.
So, but there was a big gap between doing the Vikings and then before I got to the 49ers. But I did get hired to do the NHL SEALs was the key to my career. And that happened because I'd gotten that job. I had left, believe it or not, I left the banking business to become the hockey announcer for the California SEALs. It is strange timing. I worked at Union Bank in LA and then they transferred me to SF.
Right.
But I started making tapes of games, both in the Bank and then up north. And I would practice till I felt I had something going, maybe some tickets,
Sure.
And so the strangest part of the story is that years later, after I got into the NHL and worked my way around in different leagues, is the connection is rather phenomenal because the Cal football player was Kevin Moan, who scored the touchdown that beat Stanford in the big game that I'm calling. Okay? When he takes the football, knocks it over the head of the Stanford band leader.
Right.
Okay. Now here's a bizarre connection. His dad was my boss when I worked at Union Bank.
What are the chances?
Yeah.
Right?
And to make it even more fun, I never knew this before, but at one of the reunions several years ago, his dad was there, and he said, "You know, Joe," he said, "years ago," he said, "I could never understand how I could walk by your office at the bank on a weekday afternoon and hear a ball game. But who the heck's playing? I mean, Dodger Stadium was like a few blocks away, but nobody was playing a game."
Right.
So he said, "What in God's name game is he listening to?" And he said, "Finally, now that I see where your career is gone, you were not listening to any game. You were on our time practicing to be a sports announcer."
Oh,
said,
wow.
Right?
That's great. I love it. So how'd you get into doing hockey?
Because I grew up playing hockey in Chicago, I
Right.
knew the game well.
Okay.
And so
Did you
when
call it though?
No, not. I've
So that
never
was the
done
first
anything.
time. So that's different. It took me 5 years to practice it so I could send out a thing. You didn't do 5 years.
No, I did. What I did is I started doing tapes before the Union Bank transferred me to San Francisco. I started going to the forums in LA, and so I would tape Kings games.
So about what year would that
This
be?
would be 70, 71.
Okay.
Right about there.
So Jake McDonald was the Kings announcer at the time.
And Jigs was a big catalyst for me.
Nice, me too.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
very important guy.
So I got some tapes to him.
Great.
And he said, "I want you to meet." He said, "Dan Evie, our color guy, wants to do other things," and he said, I'm going to recommend you if you want to come over." After he heard my tapes and we got to know each other a bit, he said, "I want you to meet Jack Kent Cook." So in the fall of '71, I had a meeting with Jack Kent Cook. Jigs was there, and Chick Hearn was there. And they listened to the tapes, and on the spot, Jack Kent Cook hired me to be Jigs' color man on hockey. I go back to the bank, tell him I'm quitting to go into pro sports. This is like in late September.
So you were the color man for at least an hour.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because out of nowhere, after I've actually quit the bank, Jigs calls me and says, "Joe, I must don't know how to say this to you, but Jack Kent Cook changed his mind, and he wants an ex-player, and so we're rescinding the offer, and I've already quit the bank."
Oh no!
So thank God that my reputation at the bank was good enough that I told them what happened, and they said no problem.
They understood. Well, that's great. Very fortunate. And so you must have known Roy Story, who took over for Jake for 1 year.
Exactly.
I go back to
the
Roy
reason
too.
the job opened up for the 72 season because Roy had gone to LA to become the Kings announcer.
From Oakland? Was he in Oakland?
Yeah, he had done the Seals.
I thought so. Yeah, I can remember.
So he put the Seals. They needed an announcer.
Right.
For 72, 73 season.
Yeah.
And had tapes and created a business trip to Chicago. It's Charles Finley's offices in Chicago.
Okay.
Hometown.
Got it.
On a trip to Chicago, I wrote him a tape, went upstairs to his office. He listened to the tape, and he said, "Okay, you got the job." To help me drive. In his office already, he says, "You're in. We need an announcer." And it's let's go. All right. Now, this is the stuff of bizarre stories. Because of my background, I got an MBA. My specialty was industrial relations.
Loyola, Chicago?
Loyola, Chicago. I was there when they won the national championship.
Great.
Student. And then my background is hiring, firing, training, all that kind of thing. And I said this to Cook, to Finley, and said, I could probably help you because, you do have, what we read in the papers is that you have a lot of turnover in your organization. You come and go awfully quickly. I said, I can probably help you with that. And he took it as a personal insult and fired me.
Wow.
did the job for 15 minutes.
Wow.
15 minutes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I walk out like, what the heck?
Exactly.
You know? So what I did is I went around him. I went down to KWN Radio in San Jose. I talked to the station manager, gave him the tapes. He said, well, no, we'll solve that. You got the job, all right? So I go back, and now I again quit the bank for like the second or third time on this subject, right?
Yeah.
And as I make that
They probably
decision,
stopped giving you business cards after a while.
well, I tried to time it perfectly because I was up for being a vice president.
Oh, wow.
And so I wanted that title before I quit because that meant I might have to go
Good
back.
for the resume, too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I get the vice president title, I quit the job, and then he calls me. The A's are in the World Series in '72, and he says, "Tell me again about your meeting with Charles Finley." And I think, oh, there's something going on here. And he says, "I'll get it solved." And how he solved it is he brought my tape to the A's World Series in 1972 fall classic.
Okay.
And he was up in Finley Field at the Oakland Coliseum.
None of your hats, folks.
And
Getting windy here.
he kept playing it for him.
Yeah.
And at one point, apparently, Charlie turned and said to this guy, Len Smith, who became a friend and hired me and all that.
Yeah.
He said, "Please don't tell me you want to hire that son of a bitch banker."
I love it.
And he said, "Yes, I do." He says, "Okay, go."
That's
was the
beautiful.
start of my
That's great. Okay, a couple more things. Your favorite memories calling the Niners games? You're a pretty good era there, right? You were during a pretty good era.
Oh, God, yeah, well, that's the thing. There's so many
Exactly.
incredible.
Well, give me a couple.
Well,
What stands out in your brain when you think about it?
well, how about Owens? He caught it.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That was a huge thing.
Got it.
The moment that Steve Young
Yeah.
wrapped up the football when they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And it meant so much to him. He got the job away from Montana. All those magic.
The monkey off the back thing.
Exactly. That's right. Gary Plummer
Yes.
took it back off his back, and Gary was the Cal Bear. I was working the Cal game.
Okay.
He became my partner later on 49er football.
Right.
So I have a big connection there. Over the years,
I want to say hi to Xander over here. Hey, guy. Good job, man. Xander Shoffley. Skating by.
So there's so many great games. Almost like I hate to single them out.
No, of course.
Being with the 49ers and having the privilege of calling 3 Super Bowls
That's
is
phenomenal.
just extraordinary.
Really
You
is.
know? Yeah. Oh, but here's a
Yeah,
story
please.
that's both funny and sad.
Oh, okay.
When Wayne Walker and I called our third Super Bowl, we had never gotten a ring. Okay, and so because it didn't have the guts to ask, we thought that
You shouldn't have to ask.
Yeah, well, exactly. Right? But that's
Is that
what
Mr.
ended up
DeBarnolo?
happening. Yeah, Eddie, who's the generous guy.
Yeah, come on, Eddie. What are you doing?
Yeah. So what happens is that simple. Wayne Walker went
Yeah.
and he said, "Eddie," he said, this is the third Super Bowl that Joe had called, and he said, it seems traditional around sports that the music get rings to the broadcast.
Yeah, of course.
He said, but Joe and I have never gotten one. And a quote that will live with me forever. All I had to do was ask.
Oh, it's incredible.
I have 3 boys.
Now-
2 of them are going to hate me because there's only 1 ring.
So they didn't give you the other 2 then? Huh?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do I need to make a phone
Maybe
call
we
over
could
there?
have pushed that too, but we.
I know. So do you ever wear it or just?
Oh God, yes.
Do you have it now?
I don't have it on
Okay.
down here because we're on the road, as it were.
Got it.
But at home or big events, of course. Yeah.
That's fantastic. What was it like dealing with Joe Montana in those days? Because I know Joe could be moody at times.
Yeah,
away from
he's
things.
always reserved.
Right, exactly.
Steve was easy to talk to.
Yeah, there's a
Joe
different
was always-
personality.
That's right. Good guy.
Yeah.
But was not effusive like so many other guys who passed through. And everybody had great respect for Joe Montana.
So when somebody brings up now, hey, everybody says Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, but Joe Montana never lost a Super Bowl.
That's right.
So that's a pretty good argument in my mind.
Yeah. And the combination of his talent and Bill Walsh's leadership
Incredible.
was just the perfect match.
That's some guy named Jerry Rice was the best.
Well, yeah, the greatest receiver of all time.
I don't even think it's close. It's not debatable in my mind.
#1 touchdown receiver in history.
Yep.
Driven for perfection. He just wanted to be absolutely the best. In fact, there's a story about how after the last time they won it, he was back shortly thereafter, back already at the offices practicing routes, staying in shape, just driven to be the best, and he was the best.
I heard a story the other day about the Pro Bowl, which is a joke now, of course, right? I mean, it doesn't even matter anymore. But that Jerry was in a Pro Bowl once, and the story was that everybody was just taking it easy, and Jerry was acting like it was the Super Bowl. I mean, prepping for the game and doing routes, and they were saying, "What is he doing?" And that's why he's who he is.
And in fact, even in the locker room before a game, he had to be perfect. The uniform had to be just right. He had to do just this first and this second and all that. He was that organized to be ready to go.
Super Bowls are great, but how about coming out here? Do you have a specific memory of interviewing any golfer that when you were covering the event or anything stand out to you?
Well, I think the most fun with the thing I had here was the privilege of so many years of hosting a talk show at this tournament and having incredible people as guests.
Now, did you do it outside or was it indoors?
We did it in the lodge.
Okay.
And Bing had just died the year before I started doing the yearly talk show for KGO down here.
Right.
But somehow somebody got me connected with Phil Harris.
Yeah. And Phil was Bing's basically right-hand man almost, right?
And so he knew everybody. Everybody ever wanted on the air to get on that show, we got it. Because Phil set it up. It was just incredible.
But anyone specific?
Glenn Campbell.
And, Glenn Campbell was great too. People forget, by the way, Glenn Campbell. I mean, it's a strong thing to say, but he was close to saving the tournament in LA. They were having really bad. I mean, they were not doing well, and when they put his name on the Glenn Campbell LA Open, it changed everything. Yeah, so it was really important. It was run by the LA Chamber of Commerce in those days, and they were not doing well. People were not showing up, and so he besides being one of the greatest guitarists of all time, he was, he loved his golf.
Well, there was nobody that he couldn't get us in the air.
That's right.
Pat Boone to Jack Lemmon.
How about golfers though? Anybody specific? Did you get some of the pros on at that time?
Yeah, we're pretty good at being able to get the guys.
Like Arnie, did Arnie ever come on with you or anything?
Actually, Nick did.
He did. Good.
Yeah, but not Popper. But
okay.
But the range of people that we got on that show was just astonishing. And one of my favorite stories is the year we were doing it from the lodge, and Tommy Smothers is there.
Yes.
And Tommy comes on the air, and this is just after Billy Bartolo has had to sell his portion of the 49ers because of the scandal. And so Tommy comes, before we get started with the afternoon show here, he says, "Joe, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to announce that my brother and I, plus John Madden, are buying the..."
Of course.
Yeah, so we milked that all afternoon. And stations
word
all
got
over
out.
the West Coast, they're all picking up on it. Here's a bulletin from so-and-so and all that. And just before we sign off the air at 7 o'clock, he says, Joe, he said, during the break we thought about this. We decided not to. It was
That's great. That's great. Was Tommy there with his little
yo-yo?
Yeah, exactly. I understand he loved golf.
Oh, yeah. He was out here all the time. Great privilege to participate.
Yeah, and how many years have you been coming out here? More than 40, you say?
Well, I came out for the first time was 1979. Okay. And we did a talk show here for over 30 years, and then I've covered it since then too.
Yeah, so at least 45 years. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. Have you ever done a show here? No.
No.
Exactly.
I've played here many times, and I love it.
So, what's your best score you ever shot here? Remember?
I did break 100 once.
Okay, I'll take that.
I'm not a great golfer, but I
Okay.
think it was like a 98.
Okay, you know what? That's like shooting a 68 for us.
No complaints.
100, breaking that at Pebble Beach. Tell everybody though who's never been here, what is it like? It's like it's a bucket list by far, isn't it? Whether you play or not.
Exactly. Even if you're not a golfer, you need to take the drive around the Pebble Beach Peninsula.
Yeah.
Check out all the golf courses. It's one of the great places in the world to hang out.
And check this out, everybody. Look at this view. I mean, come on. Are you serious? You don't get this, like, it's unbelievable. It really is. It's as good as it gets. Joe, it's great to have you on the show.
All right, my pleasure.
I appreciate the
All
time.
right, nice to see you.
Enjoy the rest of the week.
You too.
All right, that's Joe Starkey, everybody. It's as good as it gets. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, I better go find my wife.
Yeah, go find your wife. You too. Take care.
Send me a copy of that, or
It'll be online. I'll send you.
send me the information. Perfect, yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure we didn't totally lose the show because there's a glare on the screen, everybody, just so you know, so it's hard to see. Okay, we are still here, just so you know. And pleasure to have him on for a few minutes here on Touching Greatness. Again, if you want to see more of this kind of content, you won't get it anywhere else, folks. And certainly never from this location. Look at this. Look at that. It's just incredible. Like it, subscribe. See you. Enjoy the rest of the tour, everybody.